ladies, and gentle Goyim, welcome back. I hope you've brought a change of diapers because we're going to some deep shit, some serious deep shit. Now, if you know the type of content that I make or I used to make, it used to be some pretty 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 messed up stuff to say the least. And we're gonna dip our toes back into that area, back into that realm of fucked up because it's been a while, and I'm super desensitized to like a lot of gore and horror shit and like true crime and stuff like that. And it takes something like truly messed up to make me just stand in awe of the bullshit I'm seeing. Now I'll just scrolling through Reddit, uh, as you do while taking a dump, and this I had to make a video about it because it's not often you see a guy who just looks like fentanyl. Now, it's bad enough that I woke up today, like already off to a shit start. Do you know what I mean? You know when you're just passively depressed and you're just like, fuck, another day of shit. Well, to make it worse, we have this guy called Marcus Wesson. Now he just looks like coronavirus. Now I listen to like weird Reddit confessions and stuff and horror stories from 4chan to go to sleep. That's my bread and butter. Do you know what I mean? So consider me your guide, your journalist of the murky underworld of what is most fucked up on the internet. Because this is the start of something. I've been wanting to do a series like this for a long time, so I'm just gonna get straight to it. Marcus Stellan Wesson is an American mass murderer and child rapist, convicted of 9 accounts of first-degree murder and 14 sex crimes, including the rape and molestation of his underage daughters. His victims were his children, fathered through incestuous sexual abuse of his daughters and nieces, as well as his wife's children. Yeah. Unclench your bum cheeks, bro, because it gets a lot worse. That's just the introduction, bro. And the shit from the Epstein files. Like, if you felt something, the thing is, no one's made like a comprehensive breakdown of the Epstein files. I'm gonna be that guy. I'm gonna make like a full breakdown of like the most fucked up stuff. Like, I haven't seen a video made about it, like in real detail. Do you know what I mean? I'm gonna be that guy. It's a teaser, mini teaser. I'm gonna be that guy. That video's gonna do bits, but anyway. Marcus Wesson was born in Kansas City, Missouri, the eldest of 4 children of Benjamin and Carrie Wesson. His mother raised him in the Seventh day Adventist Church. You already know this guy. You already know childhood indoctrination is going to lead to some saucy bullshit later in life. Wesson claimed that his mother was a religious fanatic. His father was an alcoholic child abuser who abandoned his family when Wesson was a child. After dropping out of high school, Wesson joined the US Army, serving from 1966 to 1968 as an ambulance driver, which included a deployment into the Vietnam War. Bro has seen some shit. Religious indoctrination and a bunch of dead people is like a recipe for fucked up. But then I don't wanna attribute what this guy does, which haven't got into yet. What this guy does, I don't wanna attribute it to environment. Because you have to be a special type of fucked up to do what this guy does. Shortly after leaving the military, Wesson moved in with an older woman, Rosemary Solorio, and her 8 children in San Jose, California in 1971. Solorio gave birth to Wesson's son. In 1974, Wesson began sexually abusing Solorio's 8-year-old daughter, Elizabeth. Wesson married Elizabeth when she was 14 and he was 34. 4 months later, 4 months later, she gave birth to her first child. Eventually, Wesson fathered 10 children for Elizabeth, including one infant who died. One of Elizabeth's younger sisters left her own 7 children with them, claiming that her drug problem made her unable to care for them. Wesson never held a steady job, he lived off welfare, and forced his working adult children to give him all of their earnings. In 1989, Wesson was convicted of welfare fraud and perjury. The family often lived in rundown shacks, boats, and vacant houses. Wesson was abusive towards his wife and children. He prevented Elizabeth from participating in the children's upbringing. He homeschooled the children and taught them from his own handwritten Bible that focused on Jesus Christ being a vampire. What the fuck? He told the children that he was God and had them refer to him as Master or Lord. He taught the children to be prepared for Armageddon and said that the girls were destined to become Wesson's future wives. Western school curriculum involved teaching girls oral sex as young as 8 or 9. Their domestic responsibilities included washing Wesson's dreadlocks and scratching his armpits and head. Bro, oh man. The girls were not allowed to talk to their male siblings or their mother. Both male and female children were physically abused. Wesson raped 2 daughters and 3 nieces beginning at age 8. All 5 girls became pregnant. Bro. You know, I wish public execution was still a thing. That's my one gripe. My biggest gripe so far. That public execution ain't a thing anymore. I would love to see like Epstein and whatever just just hung in the middle of town. Do you know what I mean? Oh, Jesus Christ, let's just get on with this. Before March 12th, 2004, Wesson had declared his intention to relocate his daughters and their children to Washington State, where Wesson's parents lived. On March 12th, 2004, several members of Wesson's extended family, along with 2 nieces who rebelled against him, converged on his family compound, demanding the release of their children. Fresno police were summoned to what was described as a child custody issue, and a standoff ensued. Wesson told the police to wait at the door and disappeared into the home. When he came back to the door, his clothes were bloodied. Now, I did some more digging here because I wanted to understand why his clothes were bloodied, and I found something pretty fucked up. So, bodies of 7 children, aged 8 and younger, are discovered after Marcus Wesson, 57, surrenders and is arrested after a 2-hour standoff. Saturday, March 13th, 2004, at a small home near Roding Park, where authorities found a stack of 9 bodies in one room and 10 caskets in another. Fresno police on Friday arrested a man suspected of fathering some of the victims and murdering them all. Police arrested Marcus Wesson, 57, on suspicion of homicide after a 2-hour standoff in an established neighborhood near Olive Avenue and Golden State Boulevard. Authorities relayed a twisted scene of death at the house, with the bodies of young women and small children intertwined with clothing and stacked together in a back bedroom. The bodies were so entangled that it took hours for police to confirm the number of dead. Police Chief Jerry Dreyer said that there may have been some kind of ritual involved, but we have to make that determination. In a scene that began shortly after 10 p.m. and was expected to continue into the early morning, authorities began removing the bodies of the 2 women and 7 children, including infants. Some bodies were so small that they were carried out in white body bags, cradled in the arms of the officials. The majority of the victims were female, one in her 20s, one about 17, and children ranging from 1 to 8. Authorities did not release the identities of the victims or causes of death. We know what the causes of death were. They did not know whether they were killed in the house or elsewhere. Police believed Wesson had blood on his shirt when he surrendered. You know what makes me feel even worse about this? This is just one of these guys that was caught and was eventually found and tried and all that stuff. Imagine the people who've gotten away with this and you'll never hear about. And this brings to mind something that I read in the Epstein files, which I'm working on that video. There was a detail where in one of the emails, it said what the kid something tastes like cream cheese. The kids taste like cream cheese, and where that came from was they used to feed the babies, your regular baby powder that you mix with milk. They used to feed them that, and they would kill the babies, they would kill the kids once they fed them after a certain point, and they would say their intestines taste like cream cheese because they would let the baby formula ferment in their intestines before they killed, after they killed them. You just it makes you think that evil just ain't its own thing. There's levels to it. And that's just fucked. Back when I was younger, when you'd show me a gore video, I was like, it doesn't get worse than this. Like a slow mo of some ultra 4K HD of some beheading by ISIS or something. I was like, it can't get worse than this. These guys are playing evil on ranked mode. Do you know what I mean? And I managed to find some more detail. So there were 10 coffins when they found the bodies of the kids in the house. Mr. Wesson began sleeping with his daughters and nieces after he got out of jail in 1990, according to trial testimony of Ruby Ortiz, niece Olorio. I'm assuming it's one of the relatives of the older lady he married. Mr. Wesson began molesting her when she was 8. Miss Ortiz testified that she loved Mr. Wesson at the time and at age 13 enthusiastically agreed to marry him. I'm assuming this is one of his nieces, her daughter, and had children by all of them. Miss Wesson fully approved of these incestuous unions. In fact, when Ruby Solorio ran away from the home as a teenager, Miss Wesson persuaded her to come back to the house to take care of her son by Mr. Wesson. Mrs. Ortiz testified that Mr. Wesson could be cruel and jealous. He isolated his children from the outside world and beat her with a stick or baseball bat when she talked to boys that did not learn her lessons. Despite this abuse, many in the family fondly remember their days with Mr. Wesson. He devised entertainments for the family, such as plays, concerts, and ugly contests in which the children would dress up as to be as ugly as possible. Yeah, man. Well, that's pretty much the worst of the detail about this case. It was just something that I just came across this and I was just like, something like this can't just be buried. Do you know what I mean? It should be brought to light. And this guy, he shouldn't just fade into memory, fade into myth, and then be forgotten entirely. Sick fucks like this need to be remembered for how fucking twisted shit can be and how people can be. Remember when you were younger, like just as a kid, and you just assume adults, like everyone like must educate themselves at a certain point. Everyone's smart, everyone's reasonable once they're older and adult, and everything is sorted out. Until that weird friend shows you the fucking beheading video, some weird fucking gore video when you're like 13 or 14, and that kills your innocence, and you're like, fuck, it ain't no fucking rosies and daisies. And it's just shit like this that brings me back to when I was shown that first gore video when I was at 13 or 14. I'm like, yeah, I've got it good in my box room. Do you know what I mean? Because shit can be fucked up out there, man. But yeah, I mean, I feel like this video is going on for too long, but I just thought I just wanted to bring this to light. Because some people, there's just shit in this world that you couldn't make up yourself for a horror story. But yeah, man, I hope you guys enjoy this. I just made this on a whim, but I hope you guys enjoy this. I'd like to make more of this. I like to edit them more and make it more entertaining. This was just like what do you call it? A pilot episode. Let's just call it that. But I hope you enjoyed it. If you like it, like it. If you dislike it, dislike it. And I am